I'm trialing letting viewers review their own products they've compared at home to help others, particularly useful where products perform better at price or to avoid common pitfalls or issues not often mentioned in industry reviews. If you would like to have a go and have got a desire to review and help others, no matter your skill level, please contact me at simon@13thnote.net. Reviews can be podcasts I overdub based on your thoughts, and you don't necessarily need to be in or present videos.
Hi, my name is Robert and I've been invited to present a review for 13th Note Hi-Fi Reviews. I'd like to thank Simon for his help and support. In this review, I'll be comparing two very established stacks in the hi-fi consumer world, but one of them is also very established in the pro audio industry. I'll be comparing the Eversolo DMP-A6 Streamer Standard version priced at £759 versus the RME ADI-2/4 Pro SE ADAC priced at £2,000. Both these units I have here implement the flagship ESS Sabre Pro ES9038Q2M DAC chips. To keep this review comparable in terms of price and features, I will be limiting the review of the RME to its DAC section and preamp only. The ADI Pro SE has been designed also to record and convert the analog incoming signal to digital PCM up to DSD512. RME does have a DAC-only version. It's the ADI-2 DAC, priced at £1,119. The new RME models now use the AKM AK4493 flagship chips, and the specs of both the Sabre and the AKM chips are almost identical. The Eversolo is also a streaming device built around an Android operating system with an intuitive and easy-to-use proprietary user interface with extensive support for popular music services. There's support for UPnP, meaning you can stream from any product or storage device connected to the same network, and you can also install an SSD card for greater internal storage of up to 4 terabytes to have a complete independent music server. It is also a very handy feature to rip CDs directly to the Eversolo using a compatible computer external CD-ROM drives connected to it directly via a USB cable. The RME doesn't have streaming capability, but does have a very capable headphone output and extensive DSP functionality, which includes an extremely versatile 5-band fully customizable parametric EQ with additional customizable bass and treble controls, loudness control, and a useful headphone crossfeed based around the BOA binaural method with 5 selectable strengths, and of course a convenient remote control. There's no remote control supplied with the Eversolo. Both devices have front panel displays and encoder buttons, the Eversolo having a full 6-inch touchscreen display with one encoder to control various settings. The RME has a 2-inch non-touchscreen, 3 encoders, 4 buttons and an on-off switch to navigate throughout its menus and adjust various parameters. I will say, with a belt for features and functions and customizable options from both devices, the RME and its supplied instruction manual is extensive and intuitive, but I found you really have to sit down and spend a day or two to really understand RME's navigational mindset. But this is typical in the pro audio industry. I suppose once your studio is set up, then leave well alone. I strongly suggest with the RME to use the ADI-2 remote software. The Eversolo, on the other hand, really is easy to navigate through, and you'll find from opening the box and playing music takes no time. Both units feature extensive visual information. Where the RME is for precise indication, the Eversolo offers a more visual appealing VU inspection display. Though not accurate, it's very nice. Both can be connected to a Windows PC or Mac to play music when the appropriate drivers software are installed, and are both equipped to receive and send digital signals via USB, optical and RCA SPDIF digital. Both are fully balanced in analog architecture and design and can output both in single-ended and XLR. There are some differences between these devices, such as Ethernet, Wi-Fi and HDMI output connection added to the Eversolo to facilitate streaming and UPnP. I conducted 3 tests. Test 1, the source was from a USB. It's one source playing music to both devices. The devices were connected to my computer and then each feeding their own amplifier and speakers. The amplifier and speakers are exactly the same model for both devices. I repeated this test several times, swapping over the speakers and amplifiers to rule out minor manufacturing production tolerances and inconsistencies. This was achieved using professional music production software on my computer, routing the same music to two separate USB outputs feeding the DACs at the same time, and then comparing the sound from one device to the other by muting the amplifier 1 and playing amplifier 2 and vice versa for a true A/B comparison. There are other ways of conducting an A/B test, but this is how I had the system set up. Test 2, like Test 1, but using the digital source RCA SPF diff, feeding both DACs. Test 3, the source was from the Eversolo, playing music stored on its installed SSD drive, effectively using the Eversolo as a music server. Here I had the option to play the Eversolo using either its analog output or switching to its digital output to feed the RME to handle the DAC duties and analog output. Compared to Test 1 and 2, Test 3 was the most interesting and revealing. In each test, the amplifier speaker combos were level matched, so minor volume differences that were detected were corrected. The DAC filters were set on sharp. Without hitting you with a spoiler alert, the differences are very small indeed. I found the differences were only meaningful with a direct A/B comparison, such as the test I conducted. The RME is the more neutral of the two, from the lowest bass to the highest registers. All appear to be tonally accurate, and what I mean by that is that there is nothing highlighted, emphasised or ignored. Everything is heard as and when the music demands. The bass is punchy and fast, and timing quick and precise. Vocals are clear, clean and natural. Acoustic instruments provide realism, and reverb decays are easily heard with space, with extending to the speaker extremes, with good imaging in between. Depending on the quality of music, I use Jazz at the Pawn Shop Volumes 1 and 2 CDs. Considering these were recorded in the 70s analog at a jazz club in Stockholm in Sweden, it's remarkable how they capture the atmosphere of the venue. Depth is good, and it's not forced onto your lap or in your face. It hovers somewhere in front of the speakers and extends behind the wall quite well. The venue really adds to the excitement. Instruments are really heard on stage, and the crowd chatting away and wine glasses clinking here and there. With modern chilled electronic music, I use the Alva Noto Hybrid Volume 1 and 2 CDs. CD 2, track number 2 in particular, has at the end a synth-emulated rainstorm building up. There's also subtle reverb that builds up, but this is very subtle. They are both easily picked up from really well pinpoint imaging. Bass was deep and strong. Compared to the Eversolo, and again I must emphasise the differences are very small, I found the Eversolo's bass and the lower mid to have a little more weight and body, but at the same time with the speed and punch. Eversolo's mid-range I found to be a little more open and extends widthways beyond the speakers, where the RME sounded within the speakers. The Eversolo's high register and treble presentation I found to be a little forward, as though the music was presented a little more forwards towards you, but at the same time with the same extension as the RME to behind the speakers. Not unpleasant, but less relaxed. I found that changing the DAC section on the Eversolo to slow roll-off type helped a little to match the RME set to fast roll-off in higher registers. These are by far great products for the money and do punch above their weight. I've owned and worked with various RME devices over the years and totally understand why they've become the pro audio industry standard, which has leaked into the consumer market. There are many recording mastering engineers who rely on RME, and please don't forget to consider that you can exploit the useful DSP power under the RME's hood and headphone output with great customization. The Eversolo offers comparable sound quality and perhaps a little better in some areas. It offers a very good streamer and an easy-to-use app mirroring to your phone or tablet. Because these devices are so similar in DAC and chip component implementation, and if I hadn't been able to conduct these tests with an immediate real A/B switching comparisons, I would never have been able to reliably find any meaningful differences between the two. So depending on their use, you either choose the Eversolo as an all-in-one for listening at home, or the RME as a thoroughbred workhorse with powerful DSP functions. I couldn't decide, so I bought them both, but in either case, they are as good as each other in so many ways. Thank you for listening.